Hey everyone, how is it going? This is the Patron Studio podcast. I'm your host, Diego Caetano Guerra. Today we're gonna have my friend Flavio De Giusti. He's a guitarist and a teacher, and he has a lot of very interesting stories to share. This is the chapter number 2 from the Patron Studio podcast, which is a live session and a podcast. So the idea behind this show is I bring musicians to my rehearsal room or studio, or I go to theirs, and we record a live performance of any of their songs. Today's song is called Compass, and joining him in the live performance gonna be his friend Daiki. I will be also joining them on the drums. I find this super enjoyable, and I love to share stories with fellow musicians. The sponsors are in the description, and let's go to the live session and then the conversation with the glorious Flavio De Giusti. See you on the other side. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Patron podcast, and in front of me I have the Eros Ramazzotti from Berlin.
Yes, I am.
He's Flavio. I met him playing together on Small Tape.
Hi.
Today you saw him playing a song together with his friend Daiki.
Daiki.
Is that a name or a name?
No, it's real name.
All right.
Some Japanese. I have to ask, actually. I never asked.
Wow.
But
Okay.
it's Italian. It's definitely Italian.
All right. They were playing together the song Compass.
Right.
So, can you tell me about that song a little bit?
So actually, it's an old idea that I have, like, trust me, was like 6 years ago, maybe more, was just a riff, a guitar riff that I had in my mind. And actually, the first time that I tried that idea was with another band. The band was called Clap of Rome.
How?
Yep, Clap of Rome.
The club where you go partying?
Kind of, but actually, Clap of Rome, it's, kind of Illuminati, secret stuff. I'm not that guy. The original idea was of the bass player, an American guy from San Francisco, Eric. Hi, Eric. And he had that idea about, yeah, you are Italians, and I don't know, he just liked the name, Clap of Rome. So we had a bunch of ideas and also that riff, but then actually we never recorded that idea. And then I produced with Daiki, was like during the lockdown, I think it was like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Luckily, it's part of the past.
Yeah. And so we recorded together in his place this idea. So together, and that's it. We had fun. Then we recorded the video, and then I think you also watched the video. You listened to the song. You asked me, "Hey, I want to join with the drums," and I said, "No, wait." But then you gave me a bunch of money, and that's the way it works.
Yes.
And that's it. No, I'm joking.
The only way to move a musician is with money. There's nothing else. Yeah, so I listened to that song and I saw that it was programmed, like the drums. And that for me is like auto-tune. I hate it.
Yeah. Fake drums.
So I just wanted to make like a drum cover of your song and I didn't.
That's true. That's true. I sent you the backing track, like, I don't know.
You posted the song.
Yeah.
I saw it and I said to you, I have to have it. And I never did.
But we did it today.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was fun. That was fun.
That was actually fun.
We had no rehearsal. We just, before recording like a little bit, you know what? It reminded me to the old times where like these, the Motown bands. Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, you want some money? Yeah. Come play the bass. I'm going to pay something on whoever. And yeah, 1, 2. And then they were recording.
That's true. I mean, I also heard stories about that bands that were recording like 20 songs in a day.
Yeah.
And they were really just reading or just listening to some ideas. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it.
That's great.
But I'm not that good. So I think you will have to cut a lot of stuff.
I don't do that.
Do it.
Only if there's like a mistake, like an error or something, I will switch that take.
All right.
What I want to show on the sessions is how that band would be on stage.
Yeah.
With mistakes and everything included.
A lot of mistakes. Yeah.
There's another thing I hate is overproduction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like overproduction. Generally, when I listen to an album, I really like albums that sounds real, like you are in the room with the band.
For example?
For example, I was thinking about Animals, Pink Floyd.
Do you know anything about how did they produce their albums? Was it like a long jam full of drugs and then they just pressed? No? It was very planned?
So. What I know, maybe this is something interesting about the song Money. I hope you know that song.
Yes, I know that song.
It starts with noises about money and stuff like that. And
stuff like a hip-hop crap.
And every member of the band was actually throwing money. The other one, I don't know, Roger Waters or Gilmour was making other stuff because they hadn't any, synthesizer. Yeah, they had.
They didn't have a sampler.
Yeah, that's it. So
they had to maybe cut tape.
And another thing that I know, it's Roger Waters, the song Time, you can hear a clock at the beginning of the song, the tuk, tuk,
yeah.
tuk, tuk. It's actually plucking the bass strings, muting the bass strings, I think I don't know which strings. It's just plucking the strings. Boop, boop, boop.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was like a lot of sound design included in the...
Of course, a lot. Yeah.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, natural sounding bands. What are other bands? I enjoy really a lot the whole Motown thing. And I think there's something special about the music from the 70s and back, and still there's some cases forward, but I really enjoy this sound in the way of, okay, it's not the best sound ever. It's not the best mix because of technology, but I feel I'm traveling in time. I feel like through the sound, I am in the room with them, and it takes me to that era. It takes me to that moment. It makes me imagine a lot how that room looked like, how those instruments look like, how those people look like in the moment. And they were probably high on everything possible or nothing. I mean, it's such a mystery.
Yeah, this is also a great point because when I was younger, I was used to listen for real to music. And I'm talking about sitting on a chair, on a couch, and just enjoying the music for like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Today it's hard, I have to say. For my life, what I'm doing, I'm always busy. And also for the way we are enjoying music, it's different.
Yeah.
And with Spotify or other platform, it's just different. It's totally different. The music culture is different. Okay, now that's the boomer part.
The Rick Beato moment.
Hi, Rick. Hi, I'll call you later. Hi. It's different because the way we listen it changed a lot. I think.
I think that the attention is different. In my cell phone, I'm in a loop of podcasts and my demos, like trying to listen, enjoy, dream a little bit, and also enjoy, and also say, okay, I had to re-record this, record that, mix this, try to imagine the final version, and at the same time, just wank to my own music. When you're composing, I think you're like ChatGPT. You're just collecting from everything you know about and making something new. The less inputs of information your brain have, then it happens a lot of bands that they sound like Metallica, and I don't have to ask them what do they listen. Could be probably Metallica and Pantera.
And Ennio Morricone, actually. It's weird. The influences that you can find in a band, also like Metallica, and then you discover that I really like country music. I can tell maybe they like country music. James Hetfield, of course.
He looks like he likes country.
Or or punk music or other stuff like that. Actually, Trujillo, the bass player, I think it's also loving flamenco stuff. The way he's playing, of course, I can tell.
All right. I forgot what I was going to say.
We were talking about just how
Influences. So there's something crazy. I have a problem with the Beatles.
Why? Tell me.
It seems to be everybody, like from all the musicians that I admire and like, it seems to be that they all have the same influence of the Beatles. They all say they like the Beatles.
I think
Yes.
it's...
What is it? What the fuck is going on with
They
it?
produce, I think, like so many albums in 8 years. And it's incredible. And try to understand that nowadays, if you have Radiohead or other famous bands, they produce albums like during 20 years maybe. But the Beatles, I'm not sure. I think they did it in 8 years.
Okay.
So the whole career lasted just 8 years. And if you start from, I don't know, the very cheesy songs at the beginning, so they were nice guys.
I hate that time.
Okay, but then came the White Album, Revolver, and they were just crazy guys at in that moment. And maybe that's why everyone has at least one album that they really loved about the Beatles. Maybe not all the albums, just one.
I get it.
Thinking about Ozzy Osbourne loving the Beatles, I can tell maybe it's Revolver, White Album, so the crazy stuff.
I'm gonna do an immersive day in which I only listen to the whole discography of the Beatles, and I tell you when I come out of it, I tell you what happened.
I mean, it's the same for me. I can say that I really love every Beatles album. I'm not so a huge Beatles fan, but actually when I listened to Revolver or White Album, so it was like, oh, okay, interesting. And you have really to consider then when they produced that music was really on the edge of.
All right.
Yeah, maybe you don't like it. It's fine.
My favorite song is Hotel California, actually. There's actually nowadays with Spotify and YouTube. So, for example, now everybody can just record something, click export, upload it. So now we can listen to so much more unfiltered stuff that at the end, I feel there's so many similar stuff because of this lack of a filter. There are less curators that say this goes through, this doesn't, or I really listen to this.
That's
or
true.
not.
That's totally true. And you know what? Living here and working as musicians, sometimes someone wants a guitar player, a guitar track in a studio, and they send me the backing track, the demo version of a song, and usually in the pop world, I really listen to old ideas with young people. It's like, hey, this is my new song. Okay, I need some guitars there and that. Okay. Listen to the song and say, fuck, this chord progression is where is my mind picks this. And it's a very particular chord progression.
Yeah.
I can tell, hey, this is that song. And they just change the singing. And that's true. And another time, another guy told me, yeah, this is my new song. Okay. And it was Creep from Radiohead, same stuff. And also in this case, you can tell, hey, this chord progression, I can tell this is totally Creep. I mean, the song. In this case, it's okay to have the same chord because you can't copyright the chord progression, but it's also lame. And I think it happens also because they don't know the original.
That's what I wanted to say.
Boomer again.
Yeah, they don't know the original, so it comes as this is great.
It's fantastic.
They just discovered the chord progression in the wrong moment in history.
Yep.
I think there will be cases in which it's a pure coincidence, and there will be cases in which it's just pure stealing. Mm-hmm. And there's some cases that could have been avoided if those people knew the original.
But you know what? The thing is that, again, Boomer Part 3, I think it's also the way the music it's now, because if you have samples...
Can you go closer to
the idea about original ideas is disappearing, actually, I think. It's like you are doing a remix, it's a sample, or...
The same is happening with movies. The same is happening with general culture. I think there's a craving for nostalgia. There's a lot of... I was watching Eurovision, and let me say 70% of the acts were recycling something that was already there. So good. I really enjoy the ones who took like a pop structure, but they mixed in some stuff from their culture inside. For example, the Israel pop song.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it's quite like, all right, but in the middle, like progressively, they start to put some Israeli music inside. And then there's a whole section, this whole dancing part is like absolutely just a Israeli banger. Sounds like Israel.
So for you, was the best one at the contest?
It's hard to say. I would say it's the most complete one.
Okay.
My favorite was the Spanish one.
Paloma bien.
It just blew my mind.
We should ask some Spanish guy if she's so good.
Yeah. What do you think about Paloma Blanca, Ruben?
I disagree. It's fucking shit.
All right. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That's the people from Spain commenting. They were like, I love this. And the other one, like a small minority, maybe you belong to it, they were saying, this doesn't represent my country. I am not from Andalusia.
Not in my name.
Flamenco is from Andalusia, and I'm from, I don't know, Bilbao, so fuck this. Like,
Don't call this flamenco, please. No, she just was trying to imitate Rosalia, but in a Chinese material. and it's not flamenco. She trying to sing flamenco really, really bad, but the rhythm it's like a North folk rhythm. It's not flamenco. Sorry.
That's Ruben on the control there. What's up, Ruben?
Finally, I was waiting for this.
I was looking forward for the effects. I was. Wow. That's the sound of Ruben.
You know that one?
Yes.
The applause.
All right, stop. No, but Ruben, hey, amazing. He's taking care of the video and controlling there and the lights and everything. So
Thank you. Thank you.
This is getting better thanks to Ruben.
It's very cool here. And by the way, thank you for inviting me. So
Hey,
this
my
was
pleasure.
the first thing that I had to say.
Yes, we move forward.
Yeah, we are talking about a lot of stuff actually.
You said today in the session when we were playing that you consumed a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not your therapist, but I just want to say, me too. I think we both know so many weird corners of the internet.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm really, I don't know, watching videos and I don't know why. That's the point. I really don't watch TV anymore, but I'm curious. I need constant information.
That's why you're not listening to albums anymore.
I'm listening to albums, but actually on Spotify. I don't have any CD player, or I'm not listening music on vinyl anymore.
Nobody needs that.
But sometimes I really try to listen to the whole album, even if I'm listening the thing on Spotify. So I take time and I enjoy the music. But again, lying on a couch, sitting on a chair, I can't anymore.
That's a privilege already.
I think also. And it's also a matter of attention because we lost our attention. I'm talking about myself too, with smartphones and stuff like that. So really, also with YouTube, the amount of information that you can find, it's huge.
It's paralyzing. During the pandemic, I was trying to learn everything possible from YouTube. And I was just there sitting, consuming videos, learning stuff, but not doing anything with it. So now I'm just consuming YouTube for entertainment.
I did it. So I was also watching tutorials, but now I'm doing exactly the same. So for entertainment, I'm watching stupid videos a lot.
Back to like the attention we have, I think there's a struggle now from every type of app, company, and device to get our attention, because that means you can place ads on that. And I think something long, like a movie, or a documentary,
Or a book,
an
an article,
or an album, or like reading, it's really hard now to get on because you have this candy the whole time on like all of these short videos, and everything is quite like capturing you. And you have to really fight because it feels good for your body. It's like, give me more. It's like salt and sugars. Like, just give me more of that. And at the end, even your phone is telling you like statistics of what did you do during the week. Like, hey, you were fucking off like 18 hours this week on stuff.
It's the scroll thing. You are just going on and on and on without purpose. The problem is that one. I think if you have an idea, you are looking for something, even on YouTube. I need this. And then I think you are gonna spend your time in a right way. I need to learn how to play on that song.
Yeah.
Talking about musicians, for example.
But also, I think the way YouTube prepares the content for you on your homepage, like when you open YouTube, like the recommendations, they're really well done for you.
Of course.
At the end, if you use years of YouTube, whatever comes on your first page, everything will be interesting for you. And what happens to me is like I save a lot of stuff for later.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there should be like a new strategy to give the brain a fucking break. You know, like, okay, stop.
Have a vacation, take holidays, and switch off your stuff. I think it's the best way. It's hard. It's like a drug. But I can tell you that you can really enjoy life in another way, like before. And then you can really understand how was possible to live without a cell phone before or without a computer. What was life at that time?
Well, there's a crazy thing from our generation. It's that we grew up without it, then it got into our life.
Yes.
So that allows us to compare.
Right.
I think any generation afterwards, they just had shitty cell phones and then they got better.
Mm-hmm.
But we had no cell phones and then they got better. And then we had no internet and we had it.
Yeah.
Then it got better.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about holidays, you come from Italy.
Yes.
How many years are you here in Berlin? And what was your first impression when you arrived to Berlin?
So the first time I was here was really long time ago, like more than 11 years ago. Actually, I moved here 11 years ago, but I was here even before. Long time ago. Could be 2007, probably. And I was studying at the university, German. And then I was also practicing German here, and I had so little jobs, like, I don't know, working in a bar. The first impression was during summer, so what a nice city, and the park, and the nice weather, the people, and that's it. Yeah, then when I moved here during the winter was like, oh, Jesus, it's terrible here. But actually, no, the general vibe of the city, I really liked it. And also my girlfriend, she was here really long time ago. And trust me, Berlin was very, very different at that time. And that's why a lot of musicians, artists moved here just because the life was easier, was really cheap, a lot. It was very easy to find a flat and to just live also with your art, doing what you like. And that's the why I'm here, actually. So sometimes with Italian people, I think also with Spanish people, and everyone that's who's coming from the south, the Germans are like, why are you here? I don't understand. You come from a beautiful place. Why are you here? Germany sucks. I mean, sorry, but
that's what they say.
They say it like that. The weather and the bureaucracy and blah blah blah. They are always complaining, of course. But then I say, no, actually, there are a lot of good stuff here, and for have a good life, Germany, it's a beautiful place. Or I should say, in my case, Berlin.
Yeah,
because also the experience that I had later in the other cities in Germany, it's very, very, very different.
Yeah.
And that's why I can tell Berlin, it's a unique city. It's also in Germany. I was in Hamburg, Cologne, and they are cool, but I think Berlin is way, way cooler.
So the first time I came here, I figured it was also in summer. So I was like, wow. I felt that everybody in general was more pretty. Like everybody was just like, beam, level up in beauty. And also the energy. And I felt everybody was just hanging out on the streets. I felt like that. The other thing I felt instantly was this security.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not afraid that someone will steal my shit. I feel everybody here is good in general. And this violence is absent. There's none of it. They're chilled, and I think they solve most of their problems talking.
Or not talking.
Or not ignoring. But the violence is absent, I think, in general.
It's the state of Germany, come on. It's in Europe. It's a great place where you can have a family, you can live, you can grow up your kids, and and it's a great place to find your place in life. So
I feel that in the other states, the people they see you coming and they look at you like you're not from here, like a Western thing, like you're not. I never saw you before. That's the feeling on small towns, and I know Köln it's all right. I heard that people are chilled, but I didn't experience them much.
I was there a few times. It's a nice city, and we played also there actually.
Yeah, but we were just in the hotel.
Yeah.
In the concert, then back to the hotel, smoked weed, went around. We ran from the police that wasn't there, then back to the hotel, and then we fucked off. That's not Köln. That was this.
I know. Yeah, it's weird the way you enjoy cities when you are around playing music, because actually, usually you see cities at night, or
Empty.
just the backstage, or you are not in a good shape, let's say.
No. Well, I wish tours could be done different, because I think once you're in a, I mean, this happens with big and small bands. You really have to every day you're out there. It costs money, so you have to really travel every day early. You have 4 to 6 hours on the car. Get there late.
Yes.
Then you set everything up, sound check, this and that. Then you eat something, and then they open the doors. There you play. You give your best for that hour of music. Then you're sweaty, and yeah, you have to dismount everything. Have some stress, maybe a little bit of stress.
A lot.
For every concert that I played, it was not for my fans, so I didn't have like a connection to the people who came out to talk. I felt with the progressive people, they are like already excited of whatever you were doing, but I feel like when they come talking to you, they are like so excited and that it feels like I'm half invisible. I didn't feel they were talking to me. I felt they were just enjoying themselves by I'm talking to the musicians. This is so great. And
I think this is a thing about the progressive scene that I saw here in Germany, but not just in Germany. It's it's with fans that are really the word is fanatics.
Yeah.
So they're really not just enjoying the music, they're really showing off, like, I know this band and this band.
They're playing a role.
I have connection with you and with the other band. Once I saw Steven Wilson having a coffee, I don't know where, and
yes,
stuff
they're
like
showing off a little bit. Yeah.
so they want like a piece of you, like give me your set list, your pick, or your,
A picture. I mean, I like to talk to new people, but what I don't like is, okay, I'm talking, and then this, like, that's how no human beings work.
I think they're just nervous.
But the other thing is, like, they're talking to you, and they're like kind of posing. So everybody who sees, like, look, I'm talking.
It's a very particular scene, not in Germany, I would say, all over the world.
Yeah.
And for what I saw, it's really an authentic scene. So the people is really enjoying the music, but it's also kind of not closed-minded, sometimes closed-minded. So
Sometimes, depending on the generations, I think younger generations are more open-minded, and I have the feeling in some of the festivals that the age average, just by looking at their fanatism and their age, it's like, okay, you were crazy about progressive in the 70s, and you see a lot of recycling in those festivals.
Yeah.
With this Hammond and the flute and this Jethro Tull and this, how is this band that they were all talking about? That band,
Marillion.
Marillion. They're losing their shit about that. I never listened to a song of
Me too. But they
should.
I don't know. Let's try. Maybe they are good. I mean, they are really huge. They have a very good strategy how to sell themselves, and they understood that a strong fan base. But I mean, like a very, very strong.
They are really fans.
They can continue playing for the next 50 years. Same it's with other bands that maybe are not playing progressive music, like Slipknot, I would say. So the fan base of Slipknot is fucking fanatics.
Yeah.
These maggots things. And
Rammstein also.
yeah. And that's why those bands are playing maybe also the same music over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's always sold out. They sell a lot of stuff, T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, there's that kind of interdependency makes them limit themselves artistically.
Of course.
But there are others, for example, Steven Wilson. He just makes every album differently. And he has a lot of problems with his fan base. I remember watching him in 2018. It wasn't a small place, like a 1,000 people venue.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was not even half full. It was not really full. And he was telling a lot of stories in between the songs. And he was telling that, okay, he was presenting this album that has this song Permanating. It's super poppy. I like it anyway. I discovered Steven Wilson by this whole progressive stuff like The Raven That Refused to Sing and Hand Cannot Erase with Marco Miniman and Guthrie Govan. Marco Miniman. Then he made these other albums that are absolutely different. He enjoys that and he's growing up. I mean, between those albums, you have like 20 years of life. You cannot expect the person to be the same. You cannot expect the music to be always the same format. He's trying out stuff and he puts his name on top of it. And I think that's great.
Yeah, I also made a new album with Porcupine Tree, by the way, because at certain point, I think you need. I mean, I saw the concert of Porcupine Tree here in Berlin and
Fuck you.
Thank you. was huge. It was sold out, but he wasn't complaining on stage, but it was always complaining about how his music, also with Porcupine Tree, or he like a solo artist, is not enough famous, and that's true because it's in a progressive scene, and when you talk about progressive music nowadays, like what?
Yeah, I think he said something about that he's presented as this old guy from this already existing progressive scene, and he cannot get like kind of rid of that. I told you, 2018, there was like 200 people.
But where? In Berlin?
In Berlin.
Oh.
In Berlin, it was like a Tempodrom.
Okay.
It's not that big, and it was half empty, and he was talking a lot in between, and he was telling that he played somewhere, I think in Turkey, and there were some fans with the T-shirts of Steven Wilson and Porcupine Tree. When he played the song Permanating, people made this and turned around only for that song. They just this, and then they gave him the back while he was playing that song.
They are like hooligans in this scene. They are supporting the band, but they also they think they own the band. Like you are nothing without us.
They're supporting their idea of what the band is and should be, not the band. I think the band is like a factory. It's a factory. It produces new models of music. You can put it like a Nokia. Nokia makes different type of cell phones. They change during time, but they're still Nokia.
By the way, I think it's very important for a band to publish an album, and when you are published the second one, if you want to have a long career with different music, you should make clear for the first point for the second album, let's say like that the second album will be totally different. So then in this case the audience knows, oh, okay, now the third album will be what. But if you make like 4, 5, 6 albums and then you understand that fuck, now I have no new ideas, and then you repeat yourself again and again and again, you can't make a different album after 15 years, like Tool, I mean, because it's too late. The fan base is there and they want that kind of music. Yeah. It's too late. So in my opinion, it's just better to say, okay, the first album, you're totally free.
Yeah.
The second album, if you really want, you can try already with the second album to do something totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, after
I think you're cutting a lot of people out. I think if you apply that strategy, you'll be cutting the people out that will be pushing you to make the same shit over and over and again. But the fewer people that stay,
there will be like those solid fans that in the long term, they will be not millions, but they will be like fully compromised to whoever you are and whatever. Even if I make like a metal album and the next one's gonna be cumbia, that people who stay there is because of you and because of what you can manufacture out of your feelings and your. I mean, they like your mind at the end. And I know AC/DC. Come on,
It's a meme right now because they sound always the same. I know could be also another kind of strategy. So they know they sound like that. That's it. So it's also right. I mean, do your stuff. If you think you can make a career with the same album over and over again, maybe it's a good one. Do it.
that works for them.
It's fine. But I don't think with other people that are just they get bored easily. Like again, Radiohead says, yeah, we change every time because we get bored pretty easily. That's it.
I mean, it's not only that you make an album, you have to then tour for a year or two playing those songs. You get fucking bored of those. And then maybe the songs that are the favorite of people, they make you even sicker. Because I mean, it happens. I think it happens to Oasis that everybody wants them to play Wonderwall, and they just got sick of it. You got like, okay, no, this is like prostitution for that song. And I want to ask you another question. I'm skipping a little bit, but this is enjoyable. This is cool. Let's open another beer first. Ruben, you have beer? You're empty. Okay.
But you have to drink it, you know?
Yeah.
Put it in your mouth like that and drink it.
I learned this 1 month ago. If you pour the beer and you make foam, it doesn't fill your stomach that much. Mm-hmm. If you drink from the bottle, all of this gas is going to be released in your stomach. Oh. That makes you like inflated.
Okay.
And if you pour it, you're getting rid of some of that gas in the air. So that was my problem with beer. It just inflates me. It's delicious, but... So, we were talking about Berlin. Mm-hmm. How did you start to get obsessed with guitars and music? What? I mean, you're from Italy, in the near Rome.
Yeah, I was born close to Rome. Very, very close to Rome.
How did your relationship with music started to grow? Because I mean, now it's your life. It's music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are a guitarist and an excellent guitarist. Like, not only on the way of how you play, it's like the ideas that you put through. Yeah, I mean, you are really feeling music, and wherever you get involved on a song, you really get the song, and you really deliver an extra value to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, thank you for participating also a lot. And I really feel the world is not gonna get better until you start to release your fucking music or make something. And yeah, when you collaborate on other stuff, it's just great. It elevates the thing. So this is the product of years of masturbation.
Yes, of course. Getting blind.
Cheers. Masturbation on YouTube. Best shit ever. How did your relationship with music start?
Okay, it's a long story, but I will make it short.
No, don't make it short. Make it long.
No. I was 10. My cousin was on a couch playing electric guitar. No, maybe it was an acoustic guitar. And my mother was there. And I saw my cousin playing. And then I told my mother, hey, I want to play guitar. And he was playing probably Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd. Right. Because he had a cover band of Pink Floyd music. And they were pretty good, actually. So this was my first relation with music. And again, Pink Floyd. My brother was listening every day to Pink Floyd. He has got all the albums. And so I grew up with that kind of music. I grew up with Queen, and we had a very loud stereo in my place. So I was actually listening to the music. Everyone was listening to the music just because I'm too loud. And so I start with a classical guitar, because was actually, I think, the only possible lessons that I could have at that time. So there wasn't.
What year?
during the 80s. So
Alright.
I was 9, 10, and there was an old guy, my teacher, and his name was Stradivario. Trust me, yeah.
He was a time traveler.
He was a great guy playing everything but drums. And he always said, drums is not an instrument. Sorry.
Well, he can come here and tell that to my face.
Not anymore. It was really, really old. But actually, you know what? He was a very classical guy. So he could play clarinet and accordion, piano, violin, and classical guitar. So I started just reading notes. And this is my first approach with music. And I can tell that nowadays it's a great plus for me to read music, to understand the music that is on a music score. And then after a few years, like 4 or 5 years, I start to feel the need to have a band with friends. But in a small place, maybe you can understand what I'm talking about, was pretty lame. No one was really on the same page like me to make that kind of music. I was trying to discover grunge music or rock music and stuff like that. The first time that also I tried an electric guitar, I was like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Because it was weird with the pick. I start with nails and fingers. But then actually I found other friends and we had a band together. And the thing that you said about me, it's true. The composition for me, it's music, the ideas. It's not just making covers. For me, covers are just boring. Or from the first time, the first moment that I had a guitar in my hands, I thought, I can make a song. So I didn't want to practice to other songs of other people. I always recorded myself and like a producer. Actually, my first album was on a tape. So yeah, but for real, because I was used to record my acoustic guitar through a stereo with on tape, and then mix it again on the same tape, just using a second channel of the same stereo. So yeah, it was weird. Or another great thing that I can remember about my childhood was when I was actually practicing with the radio.
All right.
And this is a thing, actually.
That's actually great.
Because I was just trying to improvise on everything that I was listening to on the radio every day. And this is, I think, a thing to grow up like a musician, to have, okay, you have this, play on it.
Wow.
And I have no idea about keys or chords or scales. I was just improvising, and yeah.
Wow. I never heard. I think that it's like very mind opening.
Yeah, this is also, now I can tell how important it was, because right now I really like every kind of music.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm not a poser like, yeah, I listen to Bach and Rammstein and Eros Ramazzotti. But for real, for me, if the music is good for my point of view, then it's good, for real. And I can really, really enjoy it. That's why I'm not that good, because I'm not focusing on a very particular kind of music. In a way, listen, you can be the best swing player ever. And I know that
You're not specific. That's what you mean. You're broad.
Yeah.
But I think that's what gives you this understanding of what the song needs. You're listening to music, enjoying the music. You're not just trying to put yourself and like, look at this trick.
That's right.
You're not putting trickery out. You're making music. You're like putting yourself into the song.
And when, for example, I recorded the solo on your DuckTales song, I was just listening again and again and again, and then I recorded the solo, and then I listened the solo again the day after. So like a producer, like I wanted to be clear with myself and say, hey, it's shit, or no, it's good. So you have to be critic with yourself and listen to yourself.
That's a good thing. Also, sorry that I interrupt you, but you mentioned that you started recording yourself. I
Yeah.
think recording yourself is so important because if you cannot always rely on the feedback of someone else because you don't have someone else next to you the whole time that you're practicing or doing something. And also you cannot have the judgment of yourself in the moment because you're concentrated of what's coming next.
Yeah.
You're not concentrating on what you already did. So recording yourself, I think, is so important for
Yeah.
growing.
I was also used to record the rehearsals that I had when I was like 18, 20. I had several bands. And at that time, I was, for real, I was used to make rehearsals twice per week. And I did it like for 5 years. It was a great gym for myself, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, rehearsals. And then we recorded the rehearsals and I spent 2-3 hours at night listening on small tape, on tape, the rehearsals. And in that moment, I could hear things that weren't actually on the tape. Like, yeah, I like that. So I want to make a solo there I was just making here training kind of about composition. And then when you listen to the radio, I think you are also there wasn't an algorithm behind. There was a person choosing the music, and so I really discovered so much music that was really, really important for me. And for real, if you ask me what's your favorite band right now, I don't have a favorite band. What's your favorite music? But I can tell you very, very important albums in my life that are really, really different from each other. And sometimes it's hard to find other person that are so, I don't want to say open-minded because
Broad.
it's not about just your mind, it's about your taste.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes playing with other people when you really enjoy everything because there is at a certain point like a limit, like no, don't play that.
Or they laugh or they think it's a joke.
But actually sometimes no, I really like this. So
Where did you have those rehearsals in that small village in Italy?
in my place, of course.
But in your bedroom,
I had a garage there, and I stole that place to my family. They weren't happy at all, and I spent so much time there building the studio with the drums and so on. And I was always inviting friends at night, playing there. For me, music was really, really my life. I didn't enjoy playing video games, not so much actually. I wasn't good at sport, football, or whatever. And then when I discovered guitar, for me it was like, okay, I know now. I know what I want to do.
that's God. Wow. Did you have like? I mean, you told me your family didn't enjoy that you stole the garage, but do you have like support for your family or yes or no, kind of?
In a way, at the beginning was like, yeah, it's an hobby, and my mother, when I started playing, before I started playing guitar, she was like, let's try piano, because I still remember she thought it could be nice to have a great piano in the living room, like a piece of furniture. You know what?
Yes.
But then it was too expensive. Oh, of course, a classical guitar was just a piece of wood with strings, was much cheaper, and so I started just with a guitar. But the next step was always, okay, now I need an electric guitar, now an amplifier, now this, and now that. And so it was getting bigger. And actually, I also wanted to play drums because I really feel a strong connection with rhythm and drums in the way I compose music. I always think about the rhythm.
That's really important.
And the way the notes fit in the song, not just how many notes or what kind of notes, but the timing. That's it. That's very, very important to me. And I can tell you that it makes a huge difference if you have that time feeling that it's coming actually for you. You are not struggling with I have to make a crazy poly reading stuff or you are it's your vibe. It's coming out from your body. Like,
You say you have bands.
mhm.
You played in bands.
Yes.
What about your own compositions? Where are they?
I made songs a lot, but actually I also discovered that having a band it's hard, takes a lot of time, and the thing is, it's when you are not a professional musician, you have to convince people to follow you, to making music with you, and it's just hard. So at a certain point, I decided let's make music for the other, and that's what I'm doing right now. So it means that right now I consider myself a guitar player. That it's also a composer, but just for a track or a solo, and that's it. I had composition, the one that we played together. I had a bunch of songs actually. I also collaborated with other people in Italy. I made few albums that I consider also my music because we brought together Patchwork music.
Patchwork.
Patchwork.
You gotta send me a link. We put it in the description.
All right. And but yeah, I had a lot of bands as I told you right now, but I just enjoy making music with other, and I really like to find someone that has a vision, and then I'm there for that guy. If I like the vision, the idea, I mean
Sounds good. Sounds like I mean you're perfecting your craft.
that's it. Yeah.
And then you I don't know. Feels like you're a striker in football. You're like there's this team, there's this mission.
I mean, I
And then
also
you're
tried once to write lyrics or sing, but it's not my thing. So I'm not. I do say so.
You don't feel like the main character.
Yeah, it was always like that. Or even when I was playing soccer, football with friends, I was the one that was giving the ball to the others
Midfielder.
to win. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm not that guy that wants just to show off and say I'm the best one. So a frontman.
You're not a front.
No, I don't think. I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to listen to that Patchwork. Send it to me.
Yes, we made 2 albums on Spotify.
How do you meet Daiki? Tell me about him.
We were working together. We were working in the same music school, a private music school here in Prenzlauer Berg, and we were a colleague. So, and then, yeah, as I said, during the pandemic, everyone was home, and was actually also a good time to experiment new stuff, new ideas, and that's why we met, and we started recording new music. Also, Daiki has got a lot of songs, a lot of ideas, and is also a great producer actually because he produced the song. And but yeah, also in the music school here in Berlin, I met so many musicians. This is also a great point. Again, the main reason why I'm still here, because you can tell why are you in Berlin, but the point is why are you still here after 11 years, and it's because you can really know so many people, so many musicians from all over the world, like you. So
How does it feel now that you are a Berliner to go back home?
I think you know the answer. Every year is different, and you can tell that every year you are losing in a way something that belongs to you that in the past, I mean,
Yeah.
and you are a different person every year.
Yeah.
But you can tell the difference when you are back home. And that point you can tell, oh, I see. Okay. You can see and feel things that you couldn't before. So for me, every year it's a little bit different. I feel a little bit more Berliner
Yeah.
and And then in the end, I don't know what I am anymore. I'm myself. I know what I am. But talking about nationality, for me, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's also something that I hope will be like that in the future. Because talking about nationalities, it's kind of weird to me right now in this world, in this globalization and the world right now. So even if, and you can tell also, nowadays there are kids that are able to talk in 2 languages or even 3. And here in Berlin, it's quite easy to find out multicultural families. It's great. And I don't ask, so where are you from? You can tell, yeah, I was born here, so you are German. Yes, but so what? It's actually a question that I don't ask anymore. Where are you from? Who cares? I can tell. Oh, you can Spanish. Great. I don't suppose you are from Spain or whatever.
Well, I think at the beginning it was exciting to answer because like ooh. And I think I connected with a lot of people because they were interested of like what is that country. But then I find myself sometimes in some moments being really curious about where is that person from, because I want to know about that different life. I want to hear the anecdotes. I want to hear the difference. It's like exciting. But once you get years and years, and then you already ask like, I don't know, 30 people where they are from, and 20 say, I don't know, Italy, then you don't have so much to ask about because you already asked other 20 people before, and you kind of, okay.
The thing is,
I think it just becomes less interesting. And also, it becomes for oneself annoying to explain.
It's not annoying, I can understand, but when you are living here, I have been living here for years. So, and then you can tell I have an accent. I'm Italian. That's it. It's fine. But maybe in 20 years, someone is going to ask me again, where are you from? Where are you from? And maybe someone is going to think you came here like last year. No, I'm here for the last 20 years. So it's a weird question sometimes. I can understand you don't know nothing about my life. You listen to my accent. You heard that I have an accent, Italian accent. It's fine. Actually, 2 days ago, it happened to me. It happens every time. Sorry, Ruben. But it was like a colleague of mine, a guitar player, was like, so, where are you from? I'm from Italy. And it was like, ha, caramba. And,
God, fuck. Shit.
I don't know why here in Berlin, the thing is, everyone is learning Spanish. It's great.
That's crazy.
But for Italian people, it's like, so you're Italian. Sí. Hola, amigo, ¿cómo estás? What the fuck?
But you understand Spanish?
I can understand Spanish.
Well, then stop complaining.
No.
They are right.
The thing is, it's a matter of, different.
Yeah. Well, in my case, 90% of people were...
You want to say something?
Yes. Ruben, come on.
Say something.
It's a plan. We are teaching everybody to speak Spanish.
I knew it.
To don't have to learn fucking German.
That's a really good. That's colonization one. You practiced in America.
We start with
it in Europe.
Yeah, we start with it. We continue with it.
Hey, what I read actually is that Spanish will be the first mother tongue in the US in the next year. So.
Bravo.
What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I hope it will be because, I like Spanish. It's much, much easier than German. So please, let's talk in Spanish in Berlin.
No, that's never going to happen. There's this new feeling when I go... There's everything you say, I feel it as well. Because as you're not going with the flow of that country you're not living at anymore. Like, everything that changes, it's not in front of you. It's like closing the box. It's like... You open the window and your plants are like this, then you ignore that window for a year. Then when you watch, it's like, what the fuck happened to those?
Yeah.
it changes. It's life. It's never gonna stay the same. I think the first thing that happened. So I came to Berlin. Then I discovered like, okay, my imagination put a whole life ahead of me. And in that moment, I disconnected geographically from wherever. In that moment, I said, okay, this life I'm imagining has more, I don't know, value. As soon as I moved, then I came one more time to Uruguay, like, 2 years later. And it felt, some people ask me, do you miss it? Do you miss Uruguay? And I don't miss the geographic place. And I don't miss the time I was there. Because I know the geographic place changed. It's not the same country I left.
Yeah.
And also, every time I will be going back, it's not going to be the same that I visited the last time. So I feel that thing you say, I don't feel any nationality. Because also, it's as we are immigrants here in Berlin, even if you're living here like 40 years, your accent is going to still...
Of course.
And your traditions and your energy. And I think that's one of the things about nationality. There's a difference when you were raised up to an adult somewhere and then you moved.
Yeah.
And then there's a difference when you were moving as a kid. I moved here when I was 25. So my whole raising, my whole programming was done, was ready. Then I was just becoming an adult in Berlin. So everything I was up until there was very myself Uruguayan. And I think a lot of people still back then, they just remember me by those 25 years. Once I moved and I started to live this other planet and myself evolving just with a different environment, they oftentimes they say they don't recognize me.
But you know
same
what?
Person.
It's a matter of time. I think let's talk about this in 10 years or I don't know, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're just different part of your life. We are talking about a childhood. It's a very important part of your life. But then when you grew up a family here, you have your closest friends here. So this is your life. That's it. And about the language, that's true. I mean, if you don't learn a language during your first years of your life, of course, the pronunciation is going to be different. That's it. But then the culture, the information that you have about the place where you are living, it's not just the Germany. I'm talking about Berlin. So I can give direction to someone here because I know the place better than you. Maybe you are German, but I'm Berliner right now. I know my kids. So the people that are living there, this is my home right now.
Yeah.
So I think this is important. The life that you are living right now in this moment. So, and who cares if you are that or red, blue, yellow, German, Italian? I don't care anymore. And even if I'm practicing Spanish, a little bit of this culture is coming to me.
Yes, that's also so important. The language is the gateway to that culture. I think when I learned, I was in Germany and I didn't know any German. Once I started to learn German, I felt like it was like Age of Empires, that the map is all black, and then you explore here and there, and then you start to get clarity. You start to realize what is surrounding you because of the language. If you never learn the language from where you are, there's a lot of things that are gonna pass by your face, and they're never gonna settle in. So many messages, so many conversations are missing, so many background stories that you're not listening to.
Yeah.
So you're understanding less the place where's your home. And also home is such a crazy word. I don't understand it.
Yeah, there is a concept here in German. I mean, it's not Vaterland oder it's Heimat, you know?
Yeah.
It's the place where you can feel home, actually.
Yeah.
And this is a very, very German concept that, you know, here in Germany, there are, in comparison with Italy, there are a lot of words that are it's not so easy to translate. and because there are concepts that we don't have. So Heimat, it's a place where you feel at home, but could be also a state of mind. Could be music. Music, it's my Heimat.
Yeah.
And in this case, you're not talking about nationality anymore.
No.
Actually, I had a workshop about racism and what are we talking about in the school.
Were you teaching others how to be racist?
Yeah. No, but actually, there was this workshop against racism, of course.
Of course.
And the introduction of this workshop was really interesting because we had a pin to put on a map. And the guy there asked us, so where are you going to put your pin in the world? Or maybe more than one. And this is also interesting. And everyone was putting a pin like in Germany. I'm from Frankfurt. I'm from, I don't know, I put it in Rome, close to Rome. And then I realized that I forgot to put a pin in Berlin. But then I said to the other people, I put it close to Rome because I was born close to Rome, blah, blah, blah. But then I said, but I forgot actually to put it in Berlin. And I realized that my how I see myself is changing. I see right now myself like an Italian in Berlin, but so right now is moving I'm thinking in German right now. Fuck. It's moving my perception. And I think in the next years will be totally clear. Yeah, of course, Rome, Berlin, this is my Heimat. That's it. But really, to me, it's changing constantly. And right now I'm talking in English. Trust me, I'm struggling because every time I talk in English, I'm thinking in German.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Every time I'm speaking in any language, I'm thinking in German. And my German thinking is not really effective. I'm still not thinking that amount of German. But I mean, there are a lot of concepts that just belong to German language.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what you mean. Or some last time I was in Uruguay, we were having a barbecue with my friends because I was playing this concert. So I just gathered the band and we were catching up together. And I don't know, I was doing the grill. I think for me, home is when I'm doing the grill. I'm in charge of the grill.
Okay.
That's home.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm behind the drum kit, or behind the computer, or behind the grill, that's me. That's my animal. I was doing that, and then someone told me from Uruguay, don't forget this. And I said, I'm going to say it in Spanish. Le dije, sí, lo voy a tener bajo el paraguas. So I'm going to have it under the umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going away. He was like, don't forget this. And I'm like, yeah, voy a tenerlo bajo el paraguas. He just stopped and turned around like, what? What did you say? Voy a tenerlo bajo el paraguas.
You were here in Germany.
No, I was in Uruguay.
Uruguay. Oh, okay.
And I was like, what do you mean? Like, ich habe es unter Schirm.
Unter Schirm. Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was like, I just translated word per word. And
yeah. It's crazy because it's your brain is flipping information and yeah, it's interesting because you can tell that and it's not struggling, but your brain is, you are from point A to point B, you can draw a line and go in that way. But actually the brain is doing like to reach the point. Yeah. And it's weird when you start then learning more than 2 languages, 3 languages. And I also studied a little bit of Spanish. That's why I can understand something, but I was really bad, trust me, really, really bad. And I can also understand French because I was learning French in high school. And then also this, you realize that, again, talking about nationalities, it's a matter of, okay, I can explain this. You were born just there.
it's like flipping a coin.
No, it's like your parents fucked in that place, and then you were born 9 months later, and that's it.
Well, in the case of my daughter, I mean, I see her. I don't say she's German. I don't think of her as German. She's just my daughter. She's Elena. That's it. And because of that thing, I mean, my wife is Berliner, and I'm slowly becoming a Berliner, and she could have been born anywhere. So she was going to be herself anyway, whether she was born in China or Uruguay. And so I don't attach this personality to her. But I think I do that with adults because I see those common things. Okay, that's very German, that's very Italian, that's very Spanish.
Yeah.
Because they're already grown, they are finished.
But
kind of.
in this case, I can tell that I don't know if the future will be like that. But in these world like this right now, in Europe at least, I heard a lot of Americans telling me it's crazy here how many people can understand English and they can understand German and they talk at least 2 languages. That's true. And it's great because in this case, maybe we are building, I don't want to say a bigger state, but the idea of nationality, it's not actual anymore to me. It's like in the past was like, yeah, of course, Germany and France.
Because of the isolation.
Yeah, but right now we are cooperating. We are with also with the internet actually. If you are German, but you are constantly watching videos in English and you are listening to I don't know what, and your food is Arabic, and it's so this melting pot is, I think, getting bigger and bigger. If 2 cultures are actually not against each other. Right now, with the war in Ukraine and Russia, I know maybe the world is going crazy. I mean, it's a matter of perception. Like 500 years ago, Columbus so discovered America and so on. And suddenly everyone was like, oh, wow, the new world. So we are not alone. They were like aliens to European people. But then
let's kill them.
let's imagine like next year we are going to discover a planet with aliens on it. Again, next step, we will change our perception. It was like, whoa, the new world. And again, let's kill all the
Yeah. Have you seen this movie in which they go? I don't know the name. It was a very bizarre, gory movie. I think it was called Platoon, or I don't know. It's about these soldiers are on another planet, just killing bugs. These gigantic bugs.
Yeah, come on. This is Ruben. What's the name? Yeah, it's a classic. Come on, Diego.
It's a beautiful, but at the end, the message of the movie is like we're invading a planet and just killing all of the residents. That's so human.
This movie was really underrated, and actually I read a lot of stuff about the movie, and the movie it's about fascism.
Yeah, I saw a video essay about that director that he also made RoboCop.
Oh, okay.
So his message is always to show and exaggerate the American violence. In general.
I mean, come on, RoboCop. It was really violent.
Yeah.
If you compare that kind of movies like during the 80s with the Avengers or stuff like that, it's bullshit.
It's for family.
Yeah, it's for family.
But also, there's something in culture. I mean, we were mentioning at the beginning movies and music that it's getting like more like one thing because that's a nice word. Because the movies and the music and the rock and pop, they're kind of like their language, the most popular music. And also, this thing about the superhero movies. Think about the movies in the 90s. The majority of movies we consume were coming from Hollywood. And they were depicting so many typical things from their culture because they aimed to the United States and then the rest of the world saw it. So you learn about their culture. The movies looked like their type of thing. But now they are creating the movies to the whole world. So you stop seeing so like this typical American culture stuff.
Yeah.
So they are trying to make the movie also that the same movie can be seen in United States and also in China and also in Venezuela and also in Germany.
Yeah. Avatar. It's made for China. They made a huge success in China, for example. And Cameron, he know that he needs the Chinese audience.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, during the 80s, 90s, America, so
Yeah.
US, was a totally different country. And the geopolitics, the position of the US in the world was totally different.
Yeah.
This is politics, actually.
Yeah.
Right now, the US is so it's struggling, actually, because of China, not Russia, not anymore. Sorry, but
Yeah, at the end, I think the globalization worked for a while, and now it's deglobalizing. So, and also that like the capacities, like capitalism grew in so many countries that now everybody can just make their own fucking movies.
yeah, but actually, this system, I think, is a little bit struggling. The values that are behind the money and success is not actual anymore. It's
I
like-
feel when I'm consuming media in general, I can really see and notice when it's made from Americans to Americans. I feel it's like high pace and they're trying to sell you something and it's like you have to struggle, you have to da, 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 da. And growing up consuming American media, now that I can see media from so many other countries, I feel like a rejection to it. It's like, okay, this is
Try to imagine movies like Rambo or Rocky or stuff like that. Nowadays, it's no.
No, and also those war movies. I think it was for me one of the most interesting war movie so far was this one that won the Oscars this year from Germany.
Yeah, nothing new.
Nothing new in the world because it's a new perspective. I mean, I'm so sick of this one-sided history with Rambo, with everything, with all of the war movies. It's like, okay, yeah, you beat the Nazis. All right, tell me something different. Tell me-
Right now, I think it's totally impossible to make entertainment with a war movie. Even maybe if it's a Tropical Thunder, you know the movie, but it's okay.
It's a beautiful movie.
But Rambo was not a movie about war or whatever. It's just was shooting, yeah, muscles, yeah, that's it. But there were so many movies like that at that time, and I think right now it's like with the superheroes. So, Diego,
What?
it reminds me of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
The Velociraptor in the kitchen. Bah, bah. I love that movie.
All right. Are we filming, Ruben?
Yes.
Everything in order.
Everything
In order.
Everything in order.
All right. Wow. Okay, so we just had a tiny break. We had to pee. The camera had to pee. And Ruben was fixing everything here. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. All right. So, Flavio, I don't know what we were talking about, but you reminded me that you were working by Big Brother.
That's true.
First, how did you get there? I guess you were looking for a job, but how did you get there? And what is it like?
So I had a connection to the studios. Actually, in Rome, there are big studios. So for television and cinema, Cinecittà. It was like, what's the place called here in Berlin? Babelsberg. So same. Actually, Cinecittà was really a big place to make movies and television during the 60s, 70s. But okay, so we still have Big Brother in Italy. Right now it's just for famous people, VIP. And I worked there for 3 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, at night,
Whoa.
usually. Because, it was a reality show and it lasted all the day during the day.
Where do they save all of that video information?
I was working there like I was making tags about what were those people saying for the directors to cut the clips, and it was like very, very boring. Interesting from an anthropologist. Okay, I don't want to use that word, it's too much.
Anthropologist.
Yes, nah, thank you. And I was spending 8 hours a day listening to bullshit. They were talking about that, and they were just bored. But as I told you, it was interesting to see how people is acting actually when they know that there is a camera watching with a mic. Even if in the house there weren't any visible cameras. Actually, yeah, there were cameras on the corner moving, and we were able to say that the smart guys or girls there, they knew that the red light was on, the camera was moving. They were just saying bullshits, and then someone started talking about that actor. Hey, you know what? That guy did this and that, and then the camera moved. Zzz, and then they know, okay, now it's my spotlight. So it's very, very subtle actually. And so many ask me, Flavio, is it true? It's all staged or stuff like that? No, it's everything is true actually. But it's the whole system that brings you it brings you in that direction to do stupid things and acting. Of course, then you are on television, you wanna be the winner and so on. But for me, it was very interesting. I was working there. I wasn't in the house. I was outside the house.
Yes, you are part of the system.
Of course. And it was just a job for me. But it was actually a hard job. 8 hours straight with headphones, listening and transcribing the shit.
Luckily, we have AI now, so nobody has to go through that shit.
That's true.
Nobody has to do that anymore.
They will lose their job soon. Sorry.
Well, that's crazy also. How many jobs are not enjoyable at all?
Chat GPT right now. So
Yeah.
that's the right name? No, it's
Yeah, it's called ChatGPT.
okay.
GPT.
It's the next
It's
thing,
an Italian chat.
probably.
ChatGPT.
Everyone talks about this. We have to. Do we want to? Or I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about ChatGPT. It has been super fucking helpful to me. It's like making plans, making emails in German, making emails in any language because I'm very bad at it. I just type in my idea, like, okay, I want to say this and that. Then it gives me like a structure. And most of the time, he's wrong at something. Or he didn't understand really what I want. So at the end, it's like, okay, give me a template for this case in which I can work on. And that's great. I save time. For me, writing is so complicated. Writing emails, letters. I don't know how to take care of my voice on text. I just put my ideas, and I feel text for me is just like getting on my way. I'm here, I want to go there, and in the middle, text. And for me, it's like, okay, I know. Once I was cleaning my old emails, and I saw the emails I was sending in Uruguay when I was 18 to get jobs. And really, it was my Lebenslauf, but on a Word document with even without a picture. It was just name, single, I live here, studied there, give me a job. No, the curriculum and also the email, like, I saw your post for the job. Please consider me. Here's my Lebenslauf.
Bye.
I wait for your answer. Bye.
Yeah.
So that got me jobs. And now you have to be fucking Shakespeare to get an interview. And I think ChatGPT helped me go over that wall. Yeah. I mean, Germany is a written culture. Everything about written text is super important here.
Yeah.
So I think Germans are excellent on that.
Yeah, you have to present yourself in that way. Even with this Bewerbung, Anschreiben.
And that's super important. I mean, even the communication with authorities, all the letters you get in your post, all of the. I know if you want to present an idea, you cannot just go and sit with someone. You have to put it on paper. You have to make a plan. You have to put some paper on the table. And where I come from, it's not like that.
So this is your approach with ChatGPT, but actually I think you can do almost everything right now. I didn't start yet actually. I was curious.
you should.
I don't know.
Look, the day I discovered Chat, I was hearing everybody talking about ChatGPT. The day I said, I'm going to play with this, I was like, I couldn't. I think I started 10 a.m. I was asking, can you do this? Yes, here it is. Can you do that? Yes, here it is. Can you do that? No, I cannot do that. Okay. You're trying out, okay, what's your range? I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. I was 10 in the morning. The whole day, my brain was like, possibilities.
You see, Diego, you are a curious guy. That's great. But actually, I read an article about a guy in Italy that was using ChatGPT for the first time, and he was addicted. So he spent like 10 hours per day with this ChatGPT.
No, for me, it's Google. I just replaced Google with ChatGPT.
I know, but the thing is, to know everything. It's of course a dream for humanity.
I say as a joke, it's like chatting to God.
I know, but actually it's a point because it's the same for me. When you follow the white rabbit, into the hole, that's it. Okay, there is no end. Could be dangerous. Of course, it's great to be curious to try to understand the world, but it's also maybe was an ancient idea of our of just humanity, of world to understand the universe and the world. Right now we are not able yet to do it.
No,
but maybe I don't know. Let's see what will be.
Well, I think that as I understand ChatGPT, there's nothing about intelligence there. It's a tool. For me, the discovery of ChatGPT is also like when Google was discovered or when writing was discovered. It's just like exponentially growing. For me, ChatGPT is a new Google because now I'm lazy to Google something because I know there's going to be ads. There's going to be things that are not really answering my question. There are so many influenced by advertisement stuff that is really, you have to, you Google and then you have to really filter through the results until you find what you really wanted to answer. Even tutorials. I don't watch any tutorials anymore. I ask ChatGPT and it writes me down the steps. And if it doesn't understand me, then I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a power play, but come on, you type in your answer, your question.
I know.
It gets responded.
It's crazy.
And also, it's for me, it's just new Google. And it's not that crazy because the only thing it does is Google on steroids. So what it does is just cuts samples of text on an understandable way and it spits it out to you in the way you asked it. So...
But I know it's a great tool.
It's a tool, and it's not intelligent. It's not sentient. It's not like an entity. Like people are scared of AI being like super intelligent, but no, it's a tool made by humans, programmed by humans. This is never going. I mean, it's that thing by itself. It's not going to be
sentient.
Intelligent, sentient. It's gonna trick you.
I don't know.
Into believing it's sentient. And also, there's one thing. There's so many people talking about AI is going to destroy this. AI is going to destroy that. Okay, let's focus on music. Now there's like AI-generated music. Okay. What's the fear about that? Because before AI, there was so much music that was shit. There was so much music that was with autotune, without purpose, without any soul. copying others. All of this trap, all of this stuff, there's now charting. So soulless. And that's made by humans. 100%. It's just that there are like 10 humans trying to write a lyrics, thinking of marketing. Like 10 people like, okay, now people like iced tea and rim drops. Okay, let's make a song. And then they were doing these very plastic songs that sound and they feel like if they were written by a machine. But no, that was human. Now, I was experimenting with ChatGPT and was like, write me a song about this in the style of that band. And it did.
Did it work?
Yes.
Oh.
I told it something very specific. I told it, make a song singing about how to cook empanadas and not having all the ingredients in your fridge. Just doing the empanadas with whatever you have on hand.
Okay.
In the style of a Uruguayan band, El Cuarteto de Nos. So like, yeah, sure. And I read it like, that's absolutely the Cuarteto de Nos.
Just the lyrics.
Just the lyrics. And also you can ask it. I was also, I don't know why, what I was doing. I was like, I'm playing on this scale. I told it, I'm playing on this scale. And the song is about this. This is the feeling. I need a chorus.
Yeah.
Give me the chord progression that I need to apply to this chorus. It just gave me something like that. That was not a great idea. What it gave me, I said, like, give me other ones. I tried them out. It's like, that's not what I want to do. So at the end, I ignored that. Like, yeah, that was not great support. I'm just learning that, and I'm learning what it is to have an idea yourself and be creative, and what is to be like mechanic. And I think that's why I'm using way less and less. I mean, at the beginning, it was like exploring, like a game, like a toy. And now it's like, I really enjoy having my own ideas. I'm not gonna like fall into this. And also, there's people for everything. Before ChatGPT and all that, there were so many fake websites, so many scams, so many call centers full of people trying to fuck you up. That's human beings. So I don't know. For me, it helps me to that's another factor. It helps me to write emails. I mean, it writes them for me. I read them, but by that, I'm learning how to do my emails. So every time I'm asking, do this email, I'm finding more and more discrepancies. Like I agree less and less with what it says to me. So I end up learning how to write an email.
I mean, for every tool that you have, it's always like that, I think. This is my opinion. You are losing something. You are gaining something. You're losing something. When we learn to use computers to calculate, to do, I don't know, maths and stuff, then maybe we are able to say 2 + 2 is equal 4 and stuff like that. But before, maybe you were able to count and to think in a faster way because you hadn't any computer with you. And same for a lot of other stuff, talking about music composition. So I need that chord progression, or I can study music theory. So, and in a way, you can use that tool, and maybe you can even learn music theory with that tool.
Absolutely.
Or you can start the whole process from the beginning, and so on. For everything is like that. Even if you are making a trip, you can go for a walk, you can go on foot, or you can take a plane. It's a totally different experience.
Absolutely.
But you can reach a place in one day with a plane, and not in 1 year. So I think, like in Spider-Man, if you have those kind of superpowers, you have a great, what was the sentence actually? You have a great...
with great power come great responsibility.
That's it. I think that's the point right now. Because before, the human being was like I have to eat, I have to pee, I have to shit. That's it. This is my life.
And have sex.
Of course. Thank you. But now it's like, oh, what the fuck? It's so fucking complicated. Yeah, it's complicated because our possibilities right now are huge, are really
That's freezing you.
talking about fake meat. What about animals? And do animals have a soul or
Robot rights.
fuck? You see, it's getting complicated, really, every year. And
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's also great to see that maybe you are on a wheelchair and then you will walk again because of technology.
Sure.
So
Sure. I mean, you have to also look at the past, and there were so many things that were so tragic, such a tragedy, but at the same time so normal. Death. 100 years ago. 100 years ago, New York. People had to have a lot of kids because until they got to 18, they were going to die of something. Now you can be sure you can have one, and it's gonna make it.
yeah,
So losing a child is not normal anymore because of all of this. Violence is. I heard a conversation on the Tom Segura podcast. We're talking about now if something happens, you call the police and it's gonna be there in some minutes. But in the New York of the 19th century, the police is coming by feet. They don't have cars. They're not fast. They are just making their best. And also, so because of that, you yourself had to know how to fight, and you had to kill someone if they got into your house. There's no negotiation while the police is arriving. So violence is getting away from our life.
yeah, of course.
Death is not a typical thing anymore.
No, and also something that we don't have to talk about. It's like we are hiding those things. In this case, I think it's wrong. Not talking about death because you are just talking about life, and death it's part of life. If you don't consider that part of life, you are not seeing the whole picture. It's like I want to see just in that direction, but actually I'm missing a huge part of life. And also the way we experience the death of someone, it's, I don't want to say wrong, but it's not the best way possible right now. That's why then we are shocked. Of course we are sad. It's okay. But the thing that we are not accepting someone's death, or I think it's just weird. Before, I can say before, but I know that my grandparents, they were used to see dead people because it was a thing. When someone was dead, you have to visit the house of that person just to realize, hey, he's dead. You have to do it. It was part of the process. We had those kind of things as a community to celebrate life and death.
Yeah.
That was. But nowadays, like, it's gone.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest fears during the pandemic was to go without anybody seeing that I'm going. I was catching a cold, just a normal cold, and I was on my way to the doctor, afraid of death. But not death. I realized at that moment I was afraid of dying away from my loved ones. I think if I die, I would just want to be like holding hands with my wife and my daughter and my parents, or whoever loves me has to be there. And this thing that was terrorizing everybody on the news was like, yeah, there's people that had to say their last goodbye on a Zoom call, and you are anyway unconscious. That was my biggest fear. While going to the doctor because of just a normal flu, but that thought, I never had that thought. I was like, okay, it might be probably that this is your last walk from home to the doctor, and from there they just put you in these bubbles of plastic, and you're gone. That was one of my shittiest, walks ever. The fear was so real. I got so sucked by all of this pandemic, and then afterward the war. I got out of one death, fear of death, to get into the next one. It's like, okay, I mean, the whole preparation to the war, I was talking to everybody. Like, do you see the news about those Russian soldiers are about to kind of do something? They were like,
Yeah, it was.
you were listening
crazy.
too much Joe Rogan and stuff. They were everybody was pretending that was not happening. I was like, come on, it's okay. Then it happened.
Yeah.
And I remember my wife waking me up. Putin bombarded
Kiev.
Kiev.
Mhm.
I was waking up to that. From there, the next weeks was the whole fucking day plugged to the TV, making plans on the phone. I was like, okay,
Yeah, but
the car has gas. Yes. We need to buy some canned food, water.
Diego,
And I also was checking, okay, where's the safest place to be in Europe?
exactly the same. I mean, not in that way because I don't have any car. Yeah. No, not about you, woman.
No, not Berlin, the safest place.
Yeah, because of course, the Berlin, I mean, and DDR, so was a part of
Yeah, the Soviet shut.
But for us, it was like, oh, we are not so far away. And
was 30
I also talked with other people. And once I was in my, how do you say, Keller?
Basement.
In the basement, my building. I was there taking some stuff. And I was like, maybe I should put some food in here.
I did
and
that. I bought 2 6-packs of water, and there's canned food and blankets. And
You're also a father. I can totally understand this.
yeah,
It was the same for me because there was at some point a general vibe like, okay, what's going on here? And of course, when you see pictures of aeroplanes flying over the capital of Ukraine, bombarding the thing, I was even at a big manifestation that was the demonstration.
I was there too. I have pictures.
Was sad and scary at the same time. The Ukrainian people were really singing the national anthem. That was fucking sad as a national anthem. It's beautiful, I have to say, but it's, that kind of sad that you can really feel from is Europe. The was really, and they were very, very hungry. So we were in front of the Russian Botschaft. Embassy. Thank you. And wasn't the greatest time ever. And me too. I was planning in a way where I can hide myself in Italy or whatever.
My plan was Madrid because I was seeing historically in the 2 world wars. I was like, what was happening there? They had civil wars, of course. They had theirs, but they were not really participating into the war. It was not like France and Germany and England and
It depends. Everywhere is different. And right now,
yeah. So my plan was, okay, 24 hours driving until Madrid. So where to make a stop? Switzerland. It's like a big bunker country. So we stop at Switzerland, we charge, and then we continue to Madrid. Then we fuck off to Uruguay because the direct flights from Madrid to Uruguay, from Europe to Uruguay through Madrid. And I was seeing the news. I was like, okay, the first thing they do when shit happens is to stop all the flights. So it will not be possible to buy a ticket. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah, of course.
And if you buy a ticket, there's also the possibility that nothing's going to fly.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, car until Madrid. And then from there, where bombs are not falling, fuck off. And still, wherever you're in the world, something like that starts, there's nothing.
In my case, actually, I'm checking every day news about the war in Ukraine, but not just checking on purpose. I follow YouTube channels of people.
Me too.
Because I also really interested in this subject and this thing. But I also realized that in a way it looks like it's not a game.
No.
But from the outside, there are right now YouTubers that are dedicating their life to this. They made YouTube channel. There is also people selling T-shirts to support the Ukrainian people. Okay, that's fine. But I'm starting to realize that they're making money also. They're building,
Yeah.
a career on the war. And I don't know. It's
I follow two of those. One is Vlad Vexler. He was raised in somewhere in the Soviet bloc, and he's now in England. And then there's that geopolitics analyst. Wow, holy shit!
I think it's the same guy that I saw, and from a certain point of view, it's interesting because you can follow for real what's going on in Bakhmut or whatever.
Yeah.
But for real, to me, it's starting to see. It looks like a game. Next stage.
For me, is I want to really know what's the next step, so I can know what to do next.
So actually, just to finish the thing about the technology and possibilities that we will have in the future, we will live, I hope, much, much longer than the previous generations.
Yes.
Maybe, who knows? In the future, we are going to live too much for the earth, for the environment, and also this could be bad actually in a way because death, it's very important for the ecosystem, for the world.
Sure.
If no one dies, it's a problem.
But how do you want to conquer all the other planets if you're dying?
I know, but if people is there are kids, there are babies every year, and no one is dying, or I don't know, they're living too much. Maybe we need just more and more space, new planets. But again, I think this system doesn't work because this ecosystem is based on, you have a life and your life is gonna finish. That's it. Accept this. If you wanna change the rules, you have to change the system. Change the system, it's very, very complicated. Like changing the universe. Like you start really, you don't fit anymore in that system.
Yeah.
And so I wanted just to say that everyone wants to live forever.
Yeah.
It's not possible. In this sentence, there is an big mistake. Everyone forever. Nope. Maybe someone.
I just want to leave a good memory. Once I'm not there, I want them to read like, that's a cool thing. Or I learned this.
I mean, it's like stopping the time. It means that you can stop your life in a moment, like freezing that moment. But it means that there is no future, there is no past. There is just that moment. For me, it's like going crazy. It's like, no, it's...
Well, that's actually what we are experimenting. I think there's not a past and there's not a future. There's a continuous line of this.
Right now, you mean in the society? So
No, life in general.
Oh, okay.
It's you're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing this. And you can plan or wish or whatever, but it's not there. It's not happening. And even if you plan it, and even if you're sure it's gonna be some way, it could not.
It's
stop.
an illusion, of course.
It's an illusion. And the past is also, you don't remember everything that happened. Nobody remembers objectively everything. And as time passes by, it just gets blurry and blurry. And what we can do is imagine how it was. So I think the most valuable thing, the most real shit is this.
The present.
That thing that gives you anxiety. There's nothing, there's no time.
Mm-hmm.
Just this continuously. How do you want to finish the podcast?
We can dance. We can maybe...
Put some music, Ruben. Let's go. That was Flavio De Giusti. Let's get fucking wild.
And it was fun. Again. Are we finished, I think? Or almost done?
Whenever you want. Stop.
Hi. Or we can start from the beginning. No, I think it was great, actually. So,
You're invited. However, every time you have a new song, we can just play it and continue talking. I think we have.
Yes, about stupid things. No, actually, we talk about a lot of stuff. Maybe too much. I don't know. You have to think about what we said today.
No, I think I'm just absorbing everything, and then I have to edit. So, but I'm really looking forward to what the other people who don't know you think, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
This table is for that.
Thank you. Nice place.
See you. Let's get wasted. Music.
Ciao, Ruben. Wow, Diego, we talked like for 3 hours, maybe more, or 5 minutes. 3 hours. 3 hours.
No, but we started at 8.